Hello, welcome to Look Around, half an hour of news and sport for Cumbria and the south of Scotland. On the programme tonight.
Could our region be crowned the UK's next City of Culture? We look at the Borderlands bid.
It's an inspired bid from an inspired region. I mean, the Borderlands has so much to offer.
Also tonight, a health watchdog tells a local NHS trust significant improvements are needed.
The new report about carbon emissions from farms is released. We meet a Wigtonshire farmer who's seriously lowered his carbon footprint and made this place a little bit more eco-friendly.
And join us on the farm that's always sunny, whatever the weather.
Hello from Helen and from me, and welcome to the programme. Thank you for your company this evening. First tonight, the whole of the Border region has been put forward in a proposal to be the UK's City of Culture.
Yes, the bid for the so-called Borderlands region has officially been submitted. If successful, Dumfries and Galloway, the Scottish Borders, Cumbria and Northumberland would all collectively be given the title. Well, Ralph Blunsom is live at Hadrian's Wall near Carlisle, a place which holds huge significance in terms of local culture, Ralph.
Indeed it does. I'm standing by a wall that was originally built, of course, to divide England and Scotland some 2,000 years ago. Today, it divides us, it unites us. It unites the 5 local authorities that form this Borderlands partnership that has now put forward this bid to become the UK's City of Culture 2025. So what a better place than this to be broadcasting from tonight. Let's have a closer look at what this proposal actually means. Any proposal of this type will have an impressive video to go with it. The Borderlands bid for the City of Culture status is no exception.
We are Borderlands. Right place, right people, right time.
Deadline for the bids officially closed on July the 19th. Now we know we are in the running. Supporters say we are in it to win it.
It's different, but it's also very exciting. It really does have the opportunity to put the Borderlands region, City of Carlisle, the wider region, on the map. So I think it's a very exciting opportunity for us.
It is a big map we are already talking about. The bid covers the 5 local authority areas of the Borderlands region: Dumfries and Galloway, Scottish Borders, Carlisle City, Cumbria and Northumberland. Collectively, it's known as the Borderlands Partnership. Andrea Thompson has been reporting on the region, north and south of the border, all her working life.
It's an inspired bid from an inspired region. I mean, the Borderlands has so much to offer. And if we look at Dumfries and Galloway alone, it punches well above its weight when it comes to, performing arts, visual arts, the music scene. Culture is in every grain of every community here, and it would mean so much to Dumfries and Galloway and the Borderlands as a whole to really fight back from the blow of the pandemic, for tourism, for the economy, but for the communities and for culture. And I think what we've seen during the pandemic is that when it comes to creativity here in Dumfries and Galloway and all the different elements that make up the Borderlands, it has not just survived, it has thrived.
This is a hugely diverse and culturally vibrant area. The 2025 UK City of Culture contest organisers expanded their directive to include areas that have, in their words, a clear identity, as well as cities. People in Dumfries have given a mixed reaction to the Borderlands bid. Think a bid would be a good idea?
Yes.
What do you think it might mean if we all became City of Culture?
More jobs, more prospects.
I think that would be a good idea. Anything that brings notoriety to the area is a good thing.
I don't think it's a good idea.
Why not?
Because Dumfries is too small for that.
Senior figures supporting the bid will tell you this region has a lot to talk about.
I think it's a great bid. I think we've got a super story to tell, because this region is, in fact, the place of storytelling. From Beatrix Potter to Wordsworth to Walter Scott to Burns, and indeed just across the river from here, J.M. Barrie wrote Peter Pan. So we have a great history of storytelling, and I think we've got a wonderful story to tell.
Let's not tempt fate, but the bid's backers say they believe the bid has a very good chance of success. So when will we know if this bid has been a success or not? Well, there is a long list currently of 20 areas, 20 cities. That list will get whittled down to 6 areas, 6 cities next month, a date later in the month. Those 6 finalists will then be given until January next year to work on their bid, to mount full bids, to submit more details to the judges, and the winner will be announced in May. And judging by the people we've been talking to today, things are getting excited already.
I'm sure they are. Thank you very much, Ralph. Well, next, the NHS Trust responsible for hospitals in South Cumbria has been told by a health watchdog it needs to make significant improvements. Days after it was announced, the trust will be placed into the equivalent of special measures.
The Care Quality Commission found a number of failings at the Morecambe Bay NHS Trust during an inspection earlier this year. Their findings have been published today. Robin Davies is in our newsroom and can shed some more light on this for us. Robin, talk us through the report.
Well, the Morecambe Bay NHS Trust runs hospitals including Kendall's Westmoreland General. The latest CQC inspection has revealed a wide array of areas that need improvement. These include concerns over maternity services, the paediatric department and senior leadership. However, there was praise for the staff's compassionate approach to care and training. Now, this isn't, of course, the first time that questions have appeared over this particular trust. It was first put into special measures in 2014 after being rated inadequate by the Care Quality Commission. And on Tuesday, NHS England said the trust had been entered into its recovery support programme, which replaces the previous special measures scheme. Health trusts are brought into the programme when there are very serious and complex issues that require intensive support. Well, the MP, Tim Farron, says the staff at NHS Membership Trust should not be criticised.
I've got nothing but praise for the way that the Hospitals Trust and their frontline operatives perform. But there are some areas, over urology, orthopaedics, where there's been some concerns about patient safety in the past. Whilst the people working and leading those departments now are doing a really good job, I'm really, really concerned that the failure of management to tackle these problems seriously over the years has led to the situation that we are now in.
Well, in a statement, the Chief Executive of the NHS Trust said the safety of our patients and staff is our absolute priority, and we've already started making improvements to address the concerns raised, including creating dedicated stroke beds in our hospitals, appointing more colleagues in emergency care and launching new electronic patient record systems in maternity. We will continue to work with our teams to make further changes to ensure we are delivering the safest and best care for our patients and their families.
Robin, thank you very much indeed. Robin Davies there with the latest.
Patients affected by the cancellation of routine operations in the borders are being contacted by the area's health board. It comes after continued pressure on beds, including an increase in the number of patients with COVID-19. All urgent, cancer and emergency surgeries at the Borders General Hospital will continue, but routine operations won't resume until September the 5th. The board's chief executive says it will take years for health services to fully recover from the pandemic.
The time it's going to take the system to recover that is going to be very, very extended. So it's going to take us years to recover from that and get back to where we were before, which was nearly all of our patients being seen within 12 weeks of a decision that they might need an operation, for example. So, this is going to be, unfortunately, a very extended recovery.
Just to bring you up to speed with some national politics in Scotland, Alex Cole-Hamilton has been named as the new leader of the Scottish Liberal Democrats. The MSP for Edinburgh Western was the only candidate to put himself forward to succeed Willie Rennie, who announced he was stepping down after the Scottish Parliament election in May.
Meanwhile, the SNP and Scottish Greens have agreed a new power-sharing deal at Holyrood that includes a pledge to hold another independence referendum within the next 5 years. Nicola Sturgeon's party fell 1 seat short of an overall majority at the last election, but the arrangement with the Greens now means the Scottish Government has the number of MSPs needed to pass legislation through Parliament. You're watching Look Around. Thank you very much for your company this Friday evening. Still to come on the programme.
Back home in Cumbria, we speak to Olympic finalist Nick Miller.
Join us later to find out Why our farm is always so sunny.
And the cloud thickening today, spells of rain through this evening and overnight. A messy start to tomorrow, but will it continue? I'll have your forecast later in the programme.
Now, in recent weeks, we've looked at how farming is tackling its impact on climate change, with the industry in sharp focus ahead of the international COP26 conference in Glasgow.
A new report by the UK's largest milk processor says many UK farmers are well ahead of the global average when it comes to cutting carbon emissions. Bruce Mackenzie has been meeting one Galloway farmer who was in the top 10% of the study, featuring almost 2,000 farms, when it came to reducing his carbon footprint.
For Andrew, like many across the border region, rearing and milking cows is much more than a job.
I've never wanted to do anything else. I love it. I love looking after my cows to a high standard. You wake up in the morning with a buzz, and you still get a new calf every morning. You still get a buzz. I think maybe when that day it doesn't happen, maybe we'll have to look at stopping.
But this is an industry which feels unfairly targeted.
It does wear you down when you do get a lot of negative feedback. You know you're doing everything right, and you open up Facebook or the paper and there's a lot of farmer bashing going on, and I just love these guys to come and see what we're doing.
A lot of the criticism of agriculture comes down to carbon emissions, with global figures showing that milk production produces significantly more CO2 than alternatives. But a major new study by a large dairy cooperative suggests many UK farmers are achieving much lower environmental impacts.
We started this carbon footprinting programme for all of our farmers to help them see what was happening on their farm, where their emissions were coming from, and how they could reduce those. The data that we got from this is phenomenal, and actually in collating it all, so the report covers the carbon footprint results from almost 2,000 farms, Arla farms in the UK. Dairy farming is very complicated, but Arla farmers are producing dairy with around half the average emissions globally.
Andrew's farm has cut its carbon footprint by growing more animal feed on site, reducing herd numbers and changing how the cows are managed. He says this industry is always looking for more improvements.
On this farm we're going to try and grow more protein on the farm, and that will cut down on road miles. Also there's things coming forward in research at the moment. You know, when we apply the slurry, when anybody applies the slurry and can store storage, roofs and slurry stores to keep the methane in. All these things going forward will help.
This study of nearly 2,000 farms found that Broughton Mains here near Sorby was in the top 10% when it came to having a low carbon footprint. The co-op Arla now says that it needs to get others to follow suit, reduce their carbon footprint and make their milk even less damaging to the environment. Bruce Mackenzie, ITV News in the Mackers.
To discuss this further, we are joined by Patrick Holden, founder of the charity The Sustainable Food Trust, which looks to ways to make farming and food production more sustainable. Patrick, thanks for your time. The fact that you even formed this trust means that this was a challenge that you have been aware of for some time.
Well, yes, it is. I've been wanting to farm in a more sustainable way for most of my career, which now spans over 40 years. And actually, the farm where I am now, which is in West Wales, is an organic dairy farm, and I milked my cows this morning. But I think that what has happened since I've been farming is that the issues have become much more to the forefront. And now we really need to change all the world's farms to more sustainable farming systems which address climate change and biodiversity loss and improve the overall sustainability of the production in pretty short order. I mean, people are saying now we've got 10 years to make substantial progress.
Perhaps you're no longer having to convince people to get on board, you're having to educate them as to how to get on board. What are the barriers to making this happen?
That's exactly right. And I think the key to it is measuring. And of course, the Arla initiative is measuring the emissions of their cattle, which is excellent. But we need to make progress on a number of other fronts. I mean, we need to make sure that the farming systems don't cause pollution of water, that the systems are welfare friendly, and that they contribute towards the restoration of biodiversity. So for all those factors, we need to measure the impacts. And my organisation, the Sustainable Food Trust, is developing what we hope will be a globally harmonised way of doing that, so that we have a new language for measuring farm sustainability. We are actually talking to Anna about that, so it's very exciting.
We have a lot of farmers and agricultural workers amongst our viewers. We have even more consumers amongst our viewers, Patrick. What can we do as consumers to help make a difference?
I think the most important thing we can do is to learn and know more about where our food comes from and where and how it was produced. So I would recommend this to your viewers. When you go down to do your next food shop, have a look at the products on the shelves, particularly the dairy products, since that's the theme of this discussion, and ask yourself this question: do you know where the milk or the dairy product came from and how it was produced? And if you can't see that on the label, go and ask the customer services desk, because the supermarkets are aware that their customers are getting interested in contributing towards climate change through their food choices. And we as individual citizens, we are the powerful ones. If we switch our shopping methods and buying preferences, we can actually collectively address the climate change crisis. So it's up to us.
All about changes at the sharp end, isn't it? Patrick Holden from the charity Sustainable Food Trust. Thanks very much indeed for your insight.
The ITV Evening News continues after us with your national and international headlines. Lucrezia Millarini has the details.
We'll bring you the latest from Kabul as thousands try in vain to scramble out of Afghanistan and flee the Taliban. Back home, how a convicted terrorist freed from prison could have been prevented from going on a stabbing spree just days after he was released. Plus, how summer saved our resorts, but our cities are still struggling. And a mother's determination, the woman finally reunited with a newborn baby after the long journey back from COVID. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Finally tonight, to the corner of our region that's always sunny no matter what the weather.
Yes, because a sea of sunflowers has popped up in Cumbria and this display is open to the public to enjoy. Kate Walby has been to meet the family who are putting smiles on people's faces.
Hi, my name is Evie and this is my middle sister Millie and this is my little sister Elsie. And welcome to our amazing sunflowers!
Across 2.5 acres at Crummick Bank Farm, you'll find rows upon rows of them. This dairy farm near Wigton is fast becoming a visitor attraction.
Well, I always knew that people liked sunflowers, but I'd never realised how much they really do love them. Our intentions were just for one weekend, open, everybody come and see them, go, and it's just gone immense. It really has, and really popular. So much so that Facebook actually blocked my Messenger account.
It's just happy to see everybody come in and just smile because it's been a hard year for all of us and it's just nice to see everybody smiling.
But Neil, these are much more than just pretty flowers, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They're actually a feed substance for the birds all through winter. So once the flowers have died and they've lost the petals, if you just rub them off like that, and you've got all the lovely seeds inside, and they'll be there for the whole of winter for feeding the birds.
Right now, though, it's all about the pollinators.
There's lots and lots and lots of bees everywhere because it's not just like there's one part that has the most nectar. Like there's nectar everywhere on each flower. Some might have more nectar and some might have less. It just depends how dead they are and how alive they are.
How does seeing these make you feel?
Happy, and because of the bright colours.
And as well as making us smile and helping the environment, these flowers are also providing a boost to a local charity. In exchange for a donation to the Great North Air Ambulance, you can take a piece of sunshine home with you. Kate Walby, ITV News, Wigton.
How lovely. Ross is here. He always brings the sunshine, don't you, Ross?
Don't you, Flower?
Today, yeah. I do love sunflowers, though, I have to say.
Yeah, they're
I
gorgeous.
planted loads this year, and only about 2 actually lived. I've got one. This one here. This is my tallest. Okay, it's a bit pathetic.
That went from I planted loads.
Yeah, they just didn't do very well. It's the tallest, but it's cheating. And I didn't even plant this one. This one's actually started growing in one of the hanging baskets. So I can only imagine the birds like, look. How inappropriate is that? But it got really tall considering, yeah. So well done, little sunflower, though I had nothing to do with you. I'm going to stay with the yellow theme, actually, not so bright. And this is tomorrow. We're going to talk about a yellow warning, I'm afraid, and it's when it comes to some thundery downpours. So yeah, it's not exactly feeling like summer at the moment, is it? So we're going to chuck this in for the weekend, just what we all wanted, a nice thunderstorm warning. So within this area, which isn't all of us actually, we could see up to 50 millimetres of rainfall in just a couple of hours. Lightning, hail in the mix as well could prove an additional hazard in some locations. But there is some better news, and that is when we look towards past the weekend. So with that in mind, here's your forecast.
Ooh, I love a hot shower, me.
And a minute shorter than usual.
What a legend.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Border Weather.
The cloud has been thickening from the west today, bringing some spells of rain really setting in as we make our way into tomorrow. Some heavy downpours, heavy showers, thundery showers in the mix there tomorrow. Improving, though, as we do make our way towards the end of the weekend and into next week. And the reason for that, the low pressure that is keeping things unsettled, keeping the rain, the showers moving across us, is going to give up as we head through the later part of Sunday, and it's high pressure that's building in. So calmer conditions, lighter winds, more in the way of sunshine, and temperatures back up into the high teens or low 20s. For now, the rain is moving its way across the region. We do have some heavier bursts. It's a bit patchy as we make our way through this evening. Overnight, setting in particularly in western areas over higher ground. We are going to see those heavier downpours as we head into those early hours. Temperature-wise, though, thanks to the cloud cover, the breeze is coming up from the south. It is holding up 15, 16 degrees, the overnight low, not too far off our daytime highs from today. So going into tomorrow morning, we know it's a mild start, but it is looking messy. Best chance of any brighter breaks tomorrow morning the further east you go. But again, the rain never too far away. Some particularly heavy showers as we head into the afternoon. We do have a warning in place for those over southern parts of Cumbria. 40, 50 millimetres of rainfall in just a short amount of time, and temperatures 18 or 19 degrees. So feeling a little bit fresher than we had today in those brighter breaks. Now through Saturday and into Sunday, the bulk of the heavy showers, the rainfall is starting to move away. Sunday, certainly the better day of the weekend, but still a bit messy, still a few showers dotted around, still quite a bit of cloud too. Brighter breaks eventually pushing through, but yes, calming down as we head into the new week.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Border Weather.
Oh, hello.
Get him a towel.
Thank you, Ross. There's your new sport and weather. Stay with us. Before we go, we'll take a look at some of the week's highlights that you've been liking and sharing online. First of all, you enjoyed taking a look inside the new Galashiels home of the Great Tapestry of Scotland ahead of its opening to the public, which will be next week.
We brought you the story of the Cumbrian diver Angus Hoskin. He's reunited a woman from Birmingham with the prosthetic leg she lost swimming in the Lake District.
And getting a little otter. We highlighted the plight of Windy the otter. Found in a beck near Windermere, he's now being looked after by the RSPCA, and he will be returned to the wild soon. I say soon, it can actually take up to a year to rehabilitate them. So there you go. Be a little while, but he's on his way back.
Okay, we look forward to seeing Windy again. And we'll see all of you again next week. Have a splendid weekend. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.